YouTubes? How you doing? Hope you're all well. Hope you're coping well with the January blues. We're not. No, we're doing all right. Well, this might cheer you up. At least you haven't got all this filler to rub in this job. So this is our next job. It's quite a substantial repair on a door. I was a bit in two minds whether I could repair it, but I said I'll give it a go anyway. So I'll show you the car. It's an Audi A5 Convertible, and this is what we've got to repair. So this door, it's in quite a bit. I don't know if it really shows up a lot on the camera, but it's been hit here. It's in quite a lot here. Round the handle, it's in. Crease through here, and then it's obviously where it's gone in here. It's hit the impact bar. It bulges out here, and then yeah, it's in and out all the way along this feature and underneath it. Yeah, it doesn't really show up too well in here, but outside when you catch the light down it, the whole door's bowed. And then a little bit of damage through here on the quarters, a bit creased, and then it's caught up here as well on the wheel arch, creased in there. All this arch line is over all the way round. Not too concerned about that. I am a little bit concerned about the door because it's quite a lot. It's good metal on Audis, and it's a good stiff door. There's even creasing up here as well. So I'm gonna end up filling the majority of this door. But I'm hoping when I pull this, so we're gonna get it stripped first. But I'm hoping when I pull this line out, some of this where it all dips in here will come with that and pop back out. I'm hoping. But yeah, I don't know if you can catch it. So I can't tell on the screen whether you can see that. But it's yeah, it's quite nasty the way it kinks in and out. But like I say, it's decent metal on the German stuff, so you can manipulate it a bit. But first we're going to get the door stripped, see what the impact bar's like. I think they're bolt-on impact bars in these. I wouldn't have thought it has moved that, because that's quite a substantial piece of metal in there, that impact bar. But obviously if it has, I think you can replace those. So we'll see what that impact bar's like, and then yeah, it gives us a bit more access, and we'll see what it's like. So we're going to get it stripped first, and then go from there. I'm confident I can repair it, but we'll see how it goes. But Reese is going to get it all stripped now, and yeah, we'll see where we're at. So yeah, if you're all feeling a bit low and a bit down because it's January and it's cold, hopefully the thought of me having to rub all that filler might cheer you up. So we'll get it stripped now and then see where we're at. Right, so that's a bit of a better look at it. Now we've got it up in the air a little bit. So it's quite far in. This belly's quite a lot up here. So first thing I'm going to do is just pull it on this line. I'm going to put wiggly wire on this line here and just see if I can get that to pop up there. It's creased through here, up here, and bowed and buckled a bit round the handle. They must have pushed on the handle a little bit. Then there's just like little wobbles. So there's little, if you can see it, there's a little wobble and crease there. There's also one here, it kicks out a little bit here. So Reese has stripped it, and the bar looks okay. Sealer's broken away. That's what those ripples are, the little bits of sealer that it's pushed against them. I'm not going to cut these away yet. I'm going to see how straight I can get it all first, and then what I might do is sometimes there's a risk if I this is quite squishy, this sealer. So if I put sort of bonding sealer in there, sometimes there's a little risk of that can shrink over time, and if that shrinks, that can pull that skin in because it's a bit too hard, bonding sealer. So what I might do is, once I get it all there, I might just fill in the gap, like backfill on top of this sealer, just to support these bits of sealer that's already in there. But we'll see. I'll get some of this paint ground off. I'm just gonna grind it off here at the moment, and then see how well this pulls. Wish me luck. so I've pretty much finished beating this job about as much as I can. I've been beating it for quite a while, but I think I've got it to a point where it is fillable now. I had a few little issues with it being a bit stretched, obviously, and the impact bar on the back, but it's not too bad. It was getting this in with the impact bar behind it. It was pushing it out. But I'm going to get a skim in it now. It's pretty much there, I think. Doesn't feel too bad at all. So it's not going to be a massive depth filler. It will be a little bit in here, but the rest of it's a little bit low there. But it's best now if I just get a skim in it, and I will see there will be some highs that will poke through, and I can address them once I've rubbed that first skim down, and then the arches come out. Okay, it all looks that's pretty much there. It's not bad at all. Shape's almost there, so that's definitely fillable. And yeah, all I had to do then was all the bonding had come away, so I've had to try and force the skin out of the way and get some sealer in there. But that's set now, so that's kept the skin a bit more rigid now. So I'm going to mix some filler up. I'm going to put Evercoat. I'm going to put gold in this. Rage Gold is called. So it's a bit more of a bulkier, like a traditional type filler. Goes in really easy. It's not the easiest to rub, but you can get good levels with it. So I'm going to get a skim of that in it first, and then we'll get that rubbed out and see what it's like. So that's most of the filler work done now, I think, on this door, and it doesn't feel too bad. So I'll give you a quick look. So I think I'm almost there now with the repair, and it's not too bad. It's took a few skims, but it's not finished yet. There's a little bit of a wobble there. So I sort of try to, because this, after I pulled all this out, there's such a variety of highs and lows. Some bits deeper than others, and it's quite hard to get all that in one skim every time. So I try to do it instead of trying to bulk loads of filler in there, because you'll have it too high in places, and it's quite hard to figure out when you're spreading it where to get it lower, where to get it sort of thinner spreads and thicker spreads. So I just sort of get one over all of it that highlights my lows and my highs, and then I sort of try to put it in you know, put more in on the lower parts and then try and blend all that in. But that's sort of the way I do it, because if you try to bulk it all in there, it makes it harder to rub. This gold filler, it fills really well, but you have to catch it quick. If you leave it too long, try and catch it in its like cheesy stage. And I blocked it all with 80 grit and try and keep it all the blocking straight and get it almost there, which I think it is now. And then sometimes when you skim parts over other bits of filler, you're going to start rubbing the filler around that, and that can create wobbles in itself. But it's not too bad if you stick with the same filler, you know, from the beginning. Trying to transition other fillers in, they rub at different rates, so that it can cause you more ripples and problems. But yeah, I had a bit of a low in here, so I tapped that down, and then the bottom of this door is sort of a little, it's got a slight little curve. It's not dead flat, and this was low here, so this is sort of had one skim here, but this has had 3 here. And when I was pulling it, I did have to heat shrink it a little bit, but it kept sort of popping in and out, so I left that lower anyway, so I knew that'd be lower, and made the shape up a bit more with filler. So I think it's there. It feels good this way. It feels pretty straight this way. There's a little bit of a ripple there. This feels pretty straight. The line's pretty decent, but I do need to make this line up a bit more. So this is all in 80 grit. This is all sort of one skim up here, because it wasn't that shallow up here. I've got a little bit to skim here. But now what I'm going to do, because it's all in 80, I'm not going to try and finish any of that off or put some more of that in. I'm going to give it a skim now of the Rage Ultra, which rubs easier. It's more of a finer filler, and I'm just going to skim the whole lot with that now. I'll probably not going to be able to get it all in one go, because it's a bit more long-winded to spread that in as you build it up in layers. But it doesn't need a big thickness coat. It just needs a transition coat just to blend all of this in. There will be bits that poke through again, and sometimes that can cause a little bit, but I'm going to give it all a skim, and there's a few little pinholes here and there. So I'm going to give it all a skim. I'll skim this top out with Rage Ultra. Once that starts going off, I'll skim the bottom in as well, and then I can sort of make my own line up, because, you know, transition between the metal filler. I'd rather just try and make that line, if I can, without breaking through too much, mostly in filler. But no, I'm quite pleased with it. It's feeling quite straight, so it should look okay. I'll just tidy up all these edges first, get all these little edges of filler off on the feature lines and stuff. Now I can skim that at the same time, that little low there. This is almost there. I'm just going to give this a finishing skim now with the Rage Ultra as well. It feels really good, to be honest with you. A little bit of a ripple there, but the arch line's almost in. And then there's a couple of little tip bits to do. So there's a little bit of a wobble in it here. There's a tiny little crease mark there, only small. And then there's some a few little high spots on the side trim. So yeah, we're nearly there now. So I'll get skimming now with the Rage Ultra, and hopefully I'll knock that down with 120. Well, I might initially just take the top off with 80, and then I'll finish it off in 180, the whole repair. And then I can start, hopefully, if that feels okay, then I can start prepping it for primer. But yeah, I'm probably just going to give this a tiny little bit of a tap. I can barely feel it, but I can feel it a little bit. So just to try and avoid any metal poking through, really. So yeah, that's where we're at. Wasn't too bad on the filler. I probably spent a bit too long pulling it and beating it about. You know, I've said in previous video, I'm not actually a panel beater by trade. I am a painter. I'm just a humble paint sprayer. That's what I am. So I can't keep doing that gag. I've done that once already. I promise I won't do that gag again. So yeah, so I don't know, other painters that do panel work, I don't know, you sort of look at it with painter's eyes. You try to get everything perfect. You try and get the metal perfect. Whereas a trained, you know, a proper panel beater that you know, that's what their job is, panel beating, probably look at it a little bit differently to a painter when you're doing panel work and filler work. We probably got painters probably go a little bit over the top unnecessarily, but I've done a fair few filler work jobs, you know, throughout my career, and obviously being on my own for quite a while now, for 17 years. You learn as you go, really, on the panel side of things. But I do enjoy the panel work. I'm just not as confident in panel work as I am in paint. But I'm okay with filler work and dent repairs. It's the welding side, really, I'm not. But I really want to sort of try and improve that side of things. I don't really have a lot of call for it, to be honest with you, the type of work that comes our way. It is more just dent repairs and yeah, I do probably avoid the welding jobs, because one, I don't know how long they'll take me, because I'm not, you know, I don't do them very often, and I'm not that confident in doing them, so it's hard for me to price them then. I'll probably end up losing out on them, so I don't really take the welding work on, really. I normally get, if it is something either for myself or I'm trying to help somebody out, then I do bring a friend of mine in if he's available to do that work, but it's not very often. But we'll see. I'm going to try and sort of push for it a little bit more, maybe, and there'll be content then. Even if I mess it up, it'll be content. But yeah, so I'll get this ready now, and get, hopefully that'll be the final skim. Hopefully. Right, so that's the filler work pretty much done now on the Audi. I think it's near enough there. There's a couple of little bits just got to tidy up. I'll give you a quick look. So that's finished off in 180. Yeah, there's some transitions between the two fillers, but you can't feel them, and it feels all right. Feature line's looking pretty straight, and I've sort of made my own feature line now, so I haven't got any of the metal poking through. So just guide coated around it. So that's highlighted the scratches I need to sand out. And the wheel arch is pretty much there. Happy with that. It all feels okay. So yeah, I've just got a couple of little bits to do, just a little bit in here and a little skim on here. I sort of left them to the end anyway, in case there was any other bits I needed to put in these other repairs, and I would have skimmed them at the same time. So yeah, it feels all right. That's the thing with filler work. It's not really how it looks. Your eyes are in your hands, so you can, you know, what it feels like, you can visualize that with the paint on there. So the only way to tell is it's in your hand. My left hand, I can't really feel many imperfections in my right hand, because obviously I'm right-handed. I'm always blocking with my right hand, or, you know, when you're pulling dents or whatever, so you're always feeling with your other hand. So your hand your hand gets trained to feel it. So I can feel stuff that sometimes you can't even see in paintwork. Over the years, your hand becomes your eyes, if that makes sense. But it does, to me, it feels pretty decent all the way across. That way it does. That feels okay. There's just a couple of tiny little bits that may feel a little bit out of place, but they're minimal. And what the panel beaters always used to say in crash repair, wherever I've worked, when you run your hand over their repair and you look at them as if to say, oh, it don't feel quite right, they normally say, primer or get that. So that's what I'm going to say on this job. The little bits that I might be able to feel, then primer or get that. That's quite a classic panel beater saying, that is it. In this country it is, which normally means they don't want to skim it again, and it's down to you to get it better. But yeah, sort of years ago when I first started doing this job, the panel beaters wouldn't actually finish off the filler work. In places that I've worked, it's sort of old school panel beaters would do the metal work. They'd get filler in it and it would be finished off in 40 grit, and then it'd be down to the painters then to like put stopper in it and finish it off finer and finish a repair off, really. So some of the repairs you'd get back, you know, when I was in my earlier days, some of the repairs you get back from panel beaters that were in 40 grit were quite bad. So sort of that was the sort of painter's job, but it's sort of changed now. This is sort of, I'm talking about sort of in the body shop crash repair environment. Everyone's got their separate jobs, really. You don't sort of get painters doing panel and panel beaters doing paint. But so yeah, I'm waffling on a bit now. So that's going to be it for this video. So I'm just going to have this video on this job. It's just the repair on these panels. So that's it for this video. There'll be another video for the paint, for the prepping and the painting. But for now, this is it. I'm going to get it all prepped up now and get it in primer. So I hope you enjoyed the video anyway, and I hope you enjoyed me rubbing all that filler. I hope that pleased you. It wasn't too bad. It's not that bad a filler, really. Size filler job, really. But I hope you enjoyed it anyway, and look out for the next video. And yeah, like and subscribe as normal. And yeah, we'll see you again in the next one. Cheers.